Hey everybody, I am Haley Gray and I am the group owner in the Women's Entrepreneur Network. I am also the owner and founder of Fiercely Marketing, and I do digital marketing strategy for small to medium-sized businesses. I am excited to be here with you tonight. I am playing with a brand new tool, which is StreamYard here. We are playing and we are simultaneously broadcasting to a couple of platforms tonight to test this out. So hello, everybody. I hope that you are having a fantastic week. If you are catching this on the live, give me a hashtag live. If you're on the replay, give me a hashtag replay and let me know that you are out there. I'm going to give people just a second here as I see people popping in and ask you, what kind of business do you have? What do you do in your business? What kinds of clients do you serve? And what is the nature of your business? Tonight, we are going to be talking about ads. So put on your seatbelt, buckle them up, and let's talk about ads, because we're not going to just be talking about Facebook ads tonight. We're going to be talking about LinkedIn. We're going to be talking about Google, Facebook. We're going to be talking about all the ads. So when we start talking about ads and ads, and more ads, right? It is really challenging for a lot of business owners. And I can't tell you how many people have come to me and they are really, really frustrated because, what ends up happening is they're like, yeah, I heard I should do Facebook ads in my business. And I'm like, why do you think Facebook ads are such a great idea in your business? Well, I heard that they're really phenomenal for lead generation for XYZ type business. And that's usually the point where I put my head in my hands, because doing ads on a platform just because you heard it was great for your business is a really, really bad idea. So I'll give you some examples and I'll walk you through some of the limitations and some of the pros and cons of different platforms. So let's start with the easy, low-hanging fruit. We're going to talk about Google ads. So Google ads are really, really phenomenal at physically driving traffic into a store or driving an action that people take. If it is something that people search on, if it is something that, if you're a lingerie store owner, if you are looking for dog food, if you are, searching for something on Google, those are the kinds of ads that make absolutely phenomenal ads on Google. And they make really, really bad ads on Facebook. And it's just this opposites almost. They also make for really, really crappy ads on LinkedIn. So Facebook excels. Facebook is amazing for doing ads for things that people are just searching on, right? So if somebody is searching on a keyword on Google, and you go onto Google to Google it, those make awesome Google ads. But I will tell you, honestly, Google does not do well for coaches. If you are launching a program, if you are launching an event, those kinds of things may not make for really awesome Google ads unless people are just searching for you and they are, likely to go look up, Entrepalooza or, whatever. The Google ads are just not going to perform for you. But in some cases, Google ads are going to be way, 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 way cheaper than they are for Facebook ads. So Google has a lot of different types of ads. They have product ads, which are phenomenal. You search for a pair of pants and you're going to find lists of pants, right? If you have an e-commerce store, that is to die for. If you have something like, products or services, if you have a tree removal service, if you're a car mechanic, those types of businesses do absolutely amazing things on Google, okay? But they don't do so great on Facebook. So, one of the challenges is knowing which business should be advertising on which platform, because one strategy absolutely does not fit all when it comes to advertising in your business. So let's talk about LinkedIn, because I've had a couple of people ask me lately about LinkedIn advertising strategies. And the thing about LinkedIn is that it is really awesome if you're going after a high-end client and you're going after a particular type of client, right? So if you are looking for a business owner, or somebody who is a business decision maker, or you're looking to hire people, LinkedIn ads are probably going to be crazy powerful for you for your business. But if this isn't something that's high value, it's probably going to be the most expensive platform for you to use. So I'll give you an example. If you're a coach and you're launching stuff on LinkedIn, if you don't have a program that's at least $10,000 to $15,000, chances are it's going to be way too expensive to get a client on LinkedIn, because you're looking at several $100s to acquire a client. But if you have a $10,000 program and you're getting exactly the right people who are coming in and spending that $10,000 to $15,000, then it may make sense all day long while you take that sucker to the bank. So you have to know who your audience is, you have to know where they live, and you have to know what your profit margins are so that you can really focus on, getting in front of the right people at the right time in the right places. So it is a real challenge. So, know that you have got to know which platform for your business. So let's talk Pinterest. Pinterest is an amazing, amazing platform. I love Pinterest. I get about 250,000 views a month on Pinterest. And what I really love about Pinterest is it is a huge traffic generator for huge myriad numbers of things. If you do affiliate programs, if you do coaching programs, if you do product sales, Pinterest works as like a catch-all for all kinds of stuff. I wouldn't necessarily try to drive traffic on Pinterest to a high-end coaching program, but if you have a lower-end offering, it may make the most sense for you to drive traffic to your business, right? Because Pinterest drives a whole lot of traffic, and it can get people into your funnel. It can get people into your opt-ins, especially if you're offering high-value opt-ins, and generate amazing results, right? So let's talk Facebook, which I think is, kind of the golden child for ads lately. Facebook and Instagram, so obviously Facebook owns Instagram. So if you're doing Facebook ads, a lot of times you're also doing Instagram ads. Facebook ads work really, really well for certain types of business owners. And they work really, really horrifically badly for other types of business owners. So if you are a coach, or you are offering a service that people sign up for, like an e-course, or certain types of online shopping, people may really benefit from doing Facebook ads with you. But you have to be really careful to not spend more to acquire a client on Facebook than you're ever going to make on them. So you have to be super careful with your costs, and you have to think about, how are people searching for me? How are people finding me? What is my target demographic? Do they actually hang out on Facebook? So when we start talking about Facebook and we start talking about Facebook ads, and ads are an important part of most marketing strategies for growing businesses. It's important to know who is going to benefit and who is not. So I have a client who's an auto mechanic, and they are a thriving auto mechanic. Social media posts for them don't do a whole lot except to help improve their search engine optimization, but it doesn't drive a ton of traffic to their website. So the challenge is, how do we generate clients for them without wasting their money, right? So we do posts on social media, we'll do posts on Google My Business, but we do all of our advertising for them on Google Ads, and we don't do paid ads on Facebook, because we know that for a mechanic, it doesn't make sense to do advertising for that particular small business. And ouch, that hurt. So really thinking about what your target market is. If you are any kind of a digital marketer, if you're a coach, most virtual service providers like tutors, those kinds of things, can do really well on Facebook as well as on Google. And I'll give you guys a little hint, a little tips that I use quite a bit for advertising. Sometimes we drive traffic originally to somebody's website or to somebody's landing pages using Google or using display ads on Google. And we will retarget them on Facebook and Instagram. So retargeting is what happens when somebody has visited your site, and we use a pixel that we install on the website. It gets put on the client's browser. It's basically a cookie, and it follows that person all over the internet. So when somebody is on Facebook, that's how you end up with that situation of, hey, I looked at that car or that handbag yesterday, and now that handbag is following me all over the place. Those are cookies, and they are amazing from an advertising perspective. They're kind of creepy if you don't just love them that way. So, know your platforms, know which ones should work. So the other little elephant in the room is landing pages. So when you do ads, let me be really clear. With ads, any kind of paid ads, you generally need to drive traffic to a specific landing page on your website. Once in a blue moon, you can actually drive traffic to the front page of your website. But if you've ever seen Etsy ads, if you've ever seen ads for particular products and services, most of the time they drive you to a specific landing page on a specific website. So why is that important? Well, part of that is that if you are advertising, a rock, and people want to buy the rock, if I take you to the home page of the website, you're not immediately going to see the rock, but they wanted the rock, right? People wanted to buy the heart-shaped rock. So if the people wanted to buy the rock and they clicked on the ad to buy the rock, then the page that they want to go to is the page that's going to sell them the heart-shaped rock. So, it's important to think about what the user experience is and making it easy for them to find the products and services that they signed up for, that they were clicking for, that they were looking for. And of course, then your job, once they've clicked on the rock and they've showed interest in it, is to show them other things that might interest them, right? So it might be the pendulum, right? So you show them other things that they might be interested in based on their browsing history. And, the more of that you can do is you may also like having really good views of, what other complementary products people want as part of your advertising could be really helpful. The other cool thing is that you can also know whether the person actually bought their rock. And if they bought the rock, well, then you follow up with an ad to sell them, some other complementary item, right? So if you sell some other complementary item, then you've kind of got them. And I mean, I see it done all the time by like Coach Bags and other companies. And this is one of those things where, businesses that are growing well do extensively with their business, like a ClickFunnels. Yeah, exactly. It's very much like a ClickFunnels. You can do landing pages on a website either using the native WordPress. If you're on WordPress, you can do them on Wix, you can do them on ClickFunnels, you can do them on Ontraport, you can do them on a lot of different platforms. So it just depends on the nature of your website. The more you want to track the information will depend on which technology you actually end up using. But like if you have a regular like e-commerce website with WooCommerce on it, you're probably just going to build another regular WooCommerce page that is, you know, going to be just another extension of that on your website. ClickFunnels are awesome, and thank you, Irene. The challenge with them is that you know, depending on the type of automation you have, it may not fully integrate with your sales process. So you know, that's kind of the challenge with the technology, is making sure that all of your technology is going to work together when you first design your website and when you first figure out how it's all going to work, rather than you know, spitballs, gum, glue, you know, and a little bit of duct tape to hold your website together. Making sure that the user experience flows from one thing to the next is super important. And it's going to be different depending on your industry too, right? I mean, you know this, Irene, because, you know, working with coaches and what a sales funnel for a coach is going to look like and a landing page for a coach is going to look like is going to be totally different from what a sales funnel and a landing page is going to look like for a vacation rental company. You know, if I'm building a landing page for a vacation rental company, I'm going to tell you all about Holden Beach, and I'm going to show you pretty houses, and I'm going to, you know, give you all the information that you're going to need to book a vacation. And oh, by the way, if you don't like Holden Beach, I'm going to show you Emerald Isle. And if you don't like that one, then I'm going to show you Wilmington. You know, so the idea here is that it really depends on the user experience and making sure that the user has a really phenomenal experience, but that it all integrates together. Random pages for the sake of random pages, you know, you can have all the best technology in the world, but if it doesn't tie together, it's not worth anything to the business. And I would say that that's probably one of the more expensive mistakes people make, is they end up with random bits of technology that they've got bubble gum and spit and glued and a little bit of duct tape and some extra wire wrapped around, rather than having a really good solution that ties together super well in their business. Because the more bits and pieces and bobs and boobly lops they have in their business, and I tell you this as a digital marketer because we deal with this with our clients all day long, oh my gosh, the cost that it causes and the frustration is epic. And it really is epic, you know, where we are trying, you know, to fix things and make them work smoothly. But, you know, when you've got all these bits and bobs and pieces and stuff, and, you know, it can even be bits and bobs and pieces of plugins all over the website that make the whole development process a lot more difficult, that make customer support more difficult, that make the user experience more difficult. And we care about the customer experience so much because, you know, it is important to share, you know, it's important to share your experience there. So anyway, what questions do y'all have? I know that this is like crazy, like technically gobbledygooky for you guys tonight. I think it's really important to understand ads in a business, even if your business is not to that point. You know, you want to make sure that, you know, people can, you know, interact with your business, and that you are aware of how you're going to generate clients and how you're going to do it at different points. So one of the examples, I was talking to somebody recently, and we were talking about an advertising strategy in her business and how we were going to, what I thought was a really smart way to generate clients. So a lot of times, you know, when you're trying to get through 60 to 80,000 a year, maybe 120, a lot of times you can do it really organically. And what you're doing up to that point organically is that you're posting in Facebook groups, you're interacting with people, you're going to Facebook networking groups and interacting and building a community around you. Once you get past a certain point in your business gets so busy that you need a form of lead and client generation that is a bit more automated. And you have the budget to spend a little bit more money. And then what you do is you say, okay, so how much can I afford to spend per client? So if I'm going to make $5,000 on each client that walks through the door, then of course I'm going to be willing to spend $300 to $500 to acquire a client, right? But it's going to be completely automated, so I don't have to worry about it. The advertising alone is going to generate the leads. They're going to drop into my funnel. And then they're going to contact me to do, the who's-he what's it of whatever it is. So whether it's, paying for a vacation rental or whatever. And, it's about having the right processes and procedures at the right time for the business. Generating more leads than the business can handle would suck. And thank you, Irene. And generating not enough clients would suck, but spending too much money on advertising for your business to support is not in a good place either. So there's definitely the seesaw effect that happens as your business grows from 0 to 100,000, 100 to 300, or 500 or so, then up to 1 million, and then 1 million and beyond. There's definitely different considerations as far as how it all works for your advertising, and what your strategies need to be at various points. I'm a big believer that the first several $100,000s a year can easily be generated just by networking and by building relationships with people and just posting in groups and being of service, building relationships and having 3 to 5 conversations with people a week. I know you probably may not believe me of that, but that will get you to the first couple $100,000 a year. And I've seen it in my own business. I've done it, and I've seen it with other people. And it's amazing what you can do with completely organic traffic to generate business. And a lot of times that's warmer traffic. So you get less of the, aberrant behaviors. So I'll give you an example. We have a client who has a lingerie store here near us who has been a long-term client, and she is absolutely phenomenal. But one of the challenges she has is that people will go into her store and try on bras and get fitted, and then they'll maybe buy a bra, maybe not, and then they go online and buy. Well, that's not doing the local small business owner any good, that somebody went online and bought a bra and saved $2.50. And I kid you not, it's really usually a tiny amount of difference. So, it's about having the right people that you're connecting to that build that loyalty to you as the business owner, especially early on, to help you survive and thrive. Because, once you get those raving fans who are, in the right demographic, who are willing to spend the money, who don't care that they could go online and go buy that particular bra, or, maybe you sell completely exclusive stuff that you don't even find online, and that's important. So Irene, what are the best steps to make what happen? So when we start talking about, marketing strategy, a lot of it, like in terms of like getting to talk to people or getting to the point where you're advertising. If you're really looking at talking to people, a lot of times what you're doing is you are, like I go into Networking Women of the Triangle, or I go into the Apex Carry Moms group, or I go into 100 Coffees, or I go in here to Women's Entrepreneur Network. That's 4 Facebook groups, right? And I talk to people. I mean, I literally, if somebody is asking for a pediatrician, I'm setting up, and telling them who the best pediatricians are, or what my experience with different pediatricians is. Or if they're asking for a dentist, I'm referring to a dentist. And then, when I see somebody over and over again in a group, I say, hey, would you like to hop on a coffee call? A get to know you kind of call. And most people are pretty open to it. 100 Coffees has that mission of doing 100 calls a year to a week to help you grow. But you can do the same thing as you start to recognize people in particular groups, and you think somebody is particularly a cool connector that you might want to get to know, then, schedule a time with them. Now, those get to know you calls are not sales calls. I will tell you that. You may learn about what the person's business is, but it's not about necessarily selling them on your business or them selling you on theirs. Of course, you need to know what they do and how they do it and all those things. But really the purpose of the get to know you calls is exactly that. You get to know people and you have a one-to-one, and, you have a coffee together and you discuss, where your kids go to school and, what your favorite vacation places are, and you get to actually know one another and you build more trust. And that is super duper important. The more you can build that trust, the more people are more likely to refer to you. And then once you have some money coming in, like $5,000 to $10,000 a month, then you can start actually spending money on advertising. I think that one of the things that shocks people the most about advertising is that it can cost, in the neighborhood of $2,000 to $5,000 a month just to kind of start for advertising. And a lot of that is because it's not coming straight to the person who's doing the advertising. A lot of it's going to Facebook. A lot of it's going to, Google or Instagram or wherever. And, you've got to have the income, to cover that $2,000 a month in expenses going back out again, right? Until that starts to pay off. And, once you get to that point where you've got, $5,000 to $10,000 a month in income coming in, then it works really well. So networking to the point of getting $5,000 to $10,000 a month coming in, and then starting to leverage advertising and continuing to do those one-on-ones, by the way. It's not like once you start advertising, you completely stop networking. You continue networking and you continue connecting with people and building more and more relationships with people to keep growing your business. And I will tell you that honestly, you're going to get to that point super quickly if you have good products and services and, you do that 5 to 10 calls a week. And then once you start doing advertising, it can take 3 to 6 months to see a really good ROI on your advertising, but you need to spend a decent amount of money too. If you're not able to spend at least $500 to $1,000 a month, on the actual advertising spend, it gets really hard for you to see the kinds of numbers that you're going to need to have to justify going through the trouble of advertising. Yeah, most of the money is straight passed through to Google and Facebook. We actually charge at Fiercely Marketing a management fee for people. And what we're doing is a management fee where we tell you this is how much we're charging you, and this is our fee, and this is how much is going to Facebook. And you have a credit card on file with Facebook or Google. Irene's on fire tonight. So the question is, do you need a big following? And the answer is not really. I think that there's kind of this illusion that you need this really huge following for social media to be effective. And I don't know that you really do. I think you could do it with probably less than 500 connections and start that way pretty quickly if you have a good personality and you have a good heart and you're willing to really connect with people. You don't need lots and lots of connections. Honestly, I'll tell you that the 67, almost 68,000 people I have here in Women's Entrepreneur Network, and the almost 120,000 people I have following me across different platforms is nice, but followers don't necessarily pay for your coffee. So numbers are big numbers, are lovely and all, but they just are big numbers. They're not necessarily big numbers of buyers. And that's one of the challenges too, right? Is that they're kind of deceptive. So anywho, What other questions? You've been on fire tonight. Thank you, Irene. I really appreciate it. So advertising is very, very specific to the business. It's not like you just would randomly do, or everybody does Facebook, or everybody should follow a certain process. And I don't really believe that that is very effective for most business owners. Just like I don't think that everybody should have a Facebook group. Y'all, I love teaching people how to do Facebook groups. I love Facebook groups. I would love to work with you to help you grow your Facebook group, honestly. But I don't know that it's the right vehicle or the right method of choice for a lot of business owners at every single point of their business. It can generate tons of leads. It can generate tons of quality of leads. And it's amazing to have a huge Facebook group. But we also get 90% of the posts in here that we have to delete. We also have a ton of spam that we have to delete. Large numbers are just that. They're large numbers. It doesn't mean that they're going to generate more business for you. People will either buy from you or they won't, but the large numbers are largely irrelevant, which probably sounds really funny coming from me. Anywho, what other questions can I answer for y'all? And I'm checking to see if I still have a cat running around behind me. He's been back and forth. He was meowing to go out before I started the broadcast, and I opened the door and it thundered and it scared him and he went running back. So the poor guy was a little bit traumatized. I hope that you all have a phenomenal weekend. I will be back on Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. I look forward to connecting with y'all then. We're going to be talking about why the idea that you are one funnel away is complete bullshit. And it's a personal hot button of mine. And I hope that that will leave you with a totally different perspective on this idea of this mechanical funnel being the be-all, end-all in your business for your marketing, and what you should be doing instead. I hope you all have a great night. We will talk again on Sunday. Thanks. Bye-bye.